Good afternoon and welcome to another installment of the Moses Kotane virtual lecture series. My name is Nuktula Shongwe from the Moses Kotane Institute. I will be the facilitating today's session. Our topic this afternoon is promoting innovation through space technology, nanosatellites, and artificial intelligence as a solution to socio-economic challenges. I am joined by our esteemed guest and speaker this afternoon, Mr. Thabani Mazibuko, who hails from Durban. Thabani Mazibuko is a PhD candidate at the Durban University of Technology with a focus on exploring space technology for sustainable tourism development in KwaZulu-Natal. In Zululand, particularly, Thabani is proficient economic development, investment, promotion, and tourism champion who has accumulated significant experience in local government, including eThekwini Municipality, Zululand District, and Upongolo Municipality. His past research papers include South African banking, education, and the role of government in promoting foreign direct investments to boost local economic development, obtained at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, University of Zululand, University of South Africa, University of Witwatersrand, and the National Institute for Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises in India. I will hand over to our speaker, Mr. Thabani Mazibuko, who will take us through his presentation. Thereafter, we'll open the floor for questions and answers. Over to you, Mr. Mazibuko.
Thanks. Greetings, viewers in all sectors and spheres. I'm well introduced there as Thabani Mazibuko from South African Space Technology for Sustainable Development Foundation. We are the member of Ilembe Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Tourism. We are the finalist on Group on Earth Observation 2020. Thanks to Moses Kotane Institute for this opportunity and this great topic that is aligned with our African Month, because we are building better Africa and the better world. So without wasting time, I will go straight to the business of the day. Our contents include the definition of space technology, nanosatellites definition, the socio-economic challenges, the sustainable development goals, the key areas of satellite communication and associated benefits, practical role of space technology, global and local footprints on space technology, as well as noticeable challenges in this industry and the recommendations by South African Space Technology for Sustainable Development Foundation. We've tried to make sure that language we used here is simple and clear for everyone to understand this, because we want to extend the territory of the space community. So we are defining space technology as a technology that is developed through space science, which includes a variety of products like spacecraft, space stations, satellites, equipment, laws, and procedures. It includes or refers to three key areas: the Earth observation, the satellite communication, and satellite positioning. These three components of space brings common everyday services such as weather forecasting or remote sensing, satellite navigation system, and other key activities. It is playing key role in ensuring that we are having early warning systems so that we can take early precautions as possible, especially on things like natural disasters, floods, tsunamis, and all that. I've tried to make a good illustrations here showing the popular space tools like the Mars Exploration Rover, or the Mars Perseverance rover with the helicopter underneath, the astronauts on space exploration, the space stations observing the Earth, as well as the popular one that is normally used by the SpaceX, which is the Starship. The origin of space technology. It is safe to say that common scholars in space technology agree that the space technology was firstly, the breakthrough was the Soviet Union that introduced Sputnik 1 that orbited the Earth in October 4, 1957, which weighed about 83 kilograms and orbited at an altitude of 250 kilometers. After that, Sputnik 1 launch led to the launch of NASA and the Space Act and the Advisory Committee. I must say that it was then based on military interest, but later converted to service delivery interest. But everyone was not happy that there is a country that can orbit the Earth and conquer my country while flying on air. Then that led to the former president of the UK, or US, I mean, JF Kennedy, to proclaim that by the end of the decade, it was 1961 then, he said, by the end of the decade, I want the US man to set his foot on the moon. Well, in 1989, that was made possible by NASA's Apollo 11 crew, which saw Mr. Neil Armstrong became the first person to set his foot on the moon. Nanosatellites and artificial intelligence, there are different sizes of these. We've got good information there of Mars, where they categorized nanosatellites. Like large satellites, they are more than 1,000 kilograms, medium-sized satellites from 500 to 1,000 kilograms, and small satellites where nanosatellites form part of that. I've made few pictures that will give you clear understanding of what are nanosatellites. They are space stations that links with ground antennas, which share messages that can be communicated with the entire world on GPS, tracking devices, and more. Common socio-economic challenges. Today, we are linking space technology and socio-economic challenges. We are having a number of socio-economic challenges, but I was able to pick few that are common in different nations and regions, namely food, water, and energy security, resilient to natural hazards, the population growth, the pandemics of infectious diseases, sustainability of ecosystem services, poverty and unemployment, floods, droughts, crimes, you name them. I said I cannot talk about socio-economic challenges without touching the Sustainable Development Goals, the Vision 2030, because these Sustainable Development Goals emanated from the conference where we realized challenges that are affecting our societies in different sectors like health and number of sectors. Then these Sustainable Development Goals were developed as a response to these socio-economic challenges. Then the space technology or the space science identify key space technologies that has an ability to provide solutions to assist Sustainable Development Goals to become a reality. The importance of this will help achieving or fast-tracking achievement of Sustainable Development Goals against socio-economic challenges that I've highlighted in the slide back. That's where we're talking about satellite Earth observation, satellite communication, satellite positioning, satellite space technology transfers, human space flights, and microgravity research, inspiration from research and education. I think the combination of all this can be the catalyst towards solving socio-economic challenges that I've highlighted earlier on. The space technology, satellite communication, becoming a socio-economic game changer. The initial focus of the space technology was significantly on military interest, which transitions and developed to service delivery for innovation to enhance or to advance human security and development. Then, observing the Earth using nanosatellites is a cost-effective way of obtaining unbiased and essential data on the physical world that can allow decision makers to use this information to understand trends of things, evaluate the needs, and create sustainable development policies and programs, including projects of the society. There are key contributions of space technology to meeting these societal challenges, as said before. One is the ability to communicate anywhere in the world. Second is the ability to observe any spot on Earth very accurately, and the ability to locate a fixed or moving object anywhere on the surface. Those are three key contributions of space technology as the game changer to socio-economic challenges. I must also give few associated benefits of what I've alluded earlier on. The Earth observation or remote sensing satellites gathers information about the nature and conditions of land, sea, and atmosphere. Navigation and positioning, it gives appropriate augmentation system, navigation and positioning satellite in accurate positions, and including calculation of measurements. The satellite communication as the third one, it integrates information and communications technology into governments, global information infrastructure like broadbands and Internet of Things. The space science and astronomy, then it explores the universe from our solar systems to the most remote parts. The benefit of this then is that it reduces errors, it runs at a speed, it is accurate, it is efficient, and it is reliable, because the space technology or satellite communication or artificial intelligence cannot tell you that, okay, if the lunch is at 1, I went outside, I met my cousin there, I had to take him or her to the hospital, then that is why I'm coming back at 3. If it's gonna start at 1, 1 is 1. So you can rely on artificial intelligence and its accuracy. The practical role of space technology and satellite communication in socio-economic development. I've highlighted two major socio-economic indicators dominating Africa, South Africa, and our numerous provinces in the country, which is tourism and agriculture, because those are key comparative advantages of number of regions within our continent. So I will make 2 examples and make one that is inclusive, then I move on to another content of this presentation. You can see that with increasing space technology and its benefit, we see communication, remote sensing and navigation satellites being used for traffic routes, bookings, tourism sites identification, tourism protection, where the terrain is not familiar, the online travel publications, it provides information and reviews for travel products, including language translations and more apps in the tourism sector. You can see there in my picture on the right hand side that I'm having the robots. That's why we are encouraging our youth to focus on robotics and digitization of things, because you see the robot is now doing everything up until it gives that man the card and the room number without waking people up at night. So that is the power and the capabilities of the space technology. I will go straight to the one in agriculture. The space technology capabilities in agriculture gives value to the farmers, agronomists, food manufacturers, agricultural policymakers, and even to the business people who wish to simultaneously enhance production and profitability. Because the remote sensing satellites there provides key data for monitoring soil, snow cover, drought, crops development, and more. You can see on my picture at the right hand side that it is interacting with the farmer to navigate the crop changes. It notifies him what are the changes. If the situation is like this, what is it that you must do to heal that crop so that you can get better yield at the end of the day. These are combined or consolidated practical roles of space technology and satellite. Maybe it will be difficult to read one by one, but it is safe to highlight that you see that on my picture there, it monitors even your construction, because we are using drones. There they can simply go and navigate in the difficult terrains where it is impossible for human. You can see on the far right there, it is even counting wildlife, number of elephants that are there, number of rhinos that are still there, and even it can even go to a position where it sees the ones that were poached. It traps animals and the poachers against illegal hunting and all those bad habits that are happening in our wildlife industry. Down there you can see it is able to see the felt fires and give us what can be done or better route to take so that you can easily reach and solve those challenges. Far right, there is it is a situation where it assists even in the health sector, providing medicine where the terrain is not good. The Green Revolution has been made possible through space technology. It monitors fire and environmental degradation, as I've highlighted earlier on. It has been very useful, especially during this time of lockdown, where it spread the education using the talkback channels of satellite communication. All that is made through space technology. I then highlighted few space applications with potential in South Africa and KwaZulu-Natal. The distance learning and telemedicine, we can now try to explore that. I'm giving this slide actually so that I show that everyone who is listening to this can participate in this, and to show anyone that space is everyone's business, because now we are using distance learning and telemedicine. So we must better familiarize ourselves with technology and its associated benefits. The e-commerce, the entertainment sector, location-based consumer services like driver assistance and navigation aids, insurance-based or real-time usage data, vehicle fleet management, traffic management, location and positioning of aircraft and ships. Even in the marine sector, space technology has a big role to play there. Precision farming and natural resource management, urban planning, municipalities. This can help you for better urban planning, and even to when you are about to build houses, you do not just say, I'm going to build 100 houses in December, but get space science to tell you exactly what is going to happen in December. If it is raining the whole month, it's raining, it won't be impossible. It won't be possible for you to build those houses. So let's have space technology as our accurate helper to tell us what is going to happen. Then we give correct information to the people on what is going to happen and what is impossible. Disaster prevention and management, meteorology, and climate change. Those are the key activities and sectors where even you as a business person, you can start focusing on those key areas as part of your investment strategy, because future will demand that this is happening this way. regulating space. So I must share that you do not just fly. Even those who are in the drones industry must know that there are licenses that are associated with usage of drones and other key nanosatellite technologies. This started by the Cold War. Nations and governments used the outer space for military purposes to conquer other countries, but end of the Cold War, this became the breakthrough for the usage of space technology for civilian purposes, which attracted more audience like space scientists, experts, and lawyers. Then United Nations formulated the space rules to regulate activities conducted by nations and states, because as much as we encouraging usage of space technologies, but we must know that one day the space will become not sustainable. Why? Because when people are throwing their nano satellites, artificial intelligence up there, not collecting them back, it means that there is an increment in so you mean space so that it becomes sustainable and helps your next generation. The resolution of United Nations set a great milestone in space law and legislation, which is governing space operations by nations to use outer space and exploration in order to ensure peaceful outer space usage. The stagnation of space under United Nations legislation at national level stands out as another viable channel for regulation of space activities. So we must make sure that we are encouraging members of the nations to start national space legislation. The International Law Association adopted the model on space law 1 year earlier. So far, there are more than 20 countries that has made their own space laws. We encourage countries to have their space laws so that they cannot interfere with another activities happening up there. Remarkable global trends in space industry. I know that there are many trends and achievements that has happened so far by different countries and regions, but we'll have to highlight few, like spacecraft flying by Pluto, getting too close and collecting never seen before images of Pluto, photographing Jupiter and observing Kuiper Belt, the Space Shuttle program of ERA, which became the ticket to stars, orbiting the Mars. We've seen recently a few countries orbiting the Mars, especially 2020 and 2021. Countries like US, China have done that. We see the increase in nations and regions advancing civil space technologies, which contribute to significant advancement in number of technological fields, ranging from computers, surveillance, reconnaissance, which is key for our countries and regions. We've seen a number of cooperations and collaborations that has enabled spacefaring countries to develop common approach to their interest, to share lessons and activities like exploration, scientific results. Let's avoid costly mistakes and help designing more sophisticated and more approaches in the future. I've shared few remarkable footprints in South Africa, but I will not go one by one, but it is safe to say South Africa is the undisputed industrial hotspot of Africa's nascent space industry. It can be witnessed by a number of activities that has been done by this country since 1960, where NASA established satellite tracking and data acquisition network here in Hartbeespoort to track deep space probes as one of the 14 similar stations set up around the globe. There's also a SANSAT that was developed by Stellenbosch University the graduates in the engineering field, which was successfully launched in 1999. 2005, the Department of Science and Technology, which is now Department of Science and Innovation, launched a short-term 3-year satellite program, which was key in number of activities that has been done so far. I will not go to this one by one, but I will safely say we are happy with the remarkable progress that has been made by South African National Space Agency, together with number of organizations like USA Space in country. Yesterday we were attending the Brazil-South Africa Space Industry Visual Summit, which set a great milestone for our country as South Africa together with our BRICS community. So we are very happy with the progress that has made so far. There are, however, noticeable challenges in SA space community. One of them is the lack of community-based space technology facilities. We need to make sure that we are pushing African people to participate in the space sector so that they can get the benefits associated with the space. Reliance on other countries is still a problem in terms of South African space technology for Sustainable Development Foundation, because what we see is that when we rely on other countries, we are not launching. I know that it is expensive and straining, but we need to start considering our own launches, because relying on other countries is not sustainable enough. What if there is a time where we are not seeing things eye to eye with the countries that rely on them for this key information? It is the homework for you. Limited platforms that links innovators and communities. We see if we are having limited platforms between the innovators and our communities, we are opening the gap for the technological colonizers to come into our villages, see what is working for our rural areas. Then they take those innovations at a very small amount or even nothing, because they go as far as taking good thesis and dissertation in our academia and not pay even a cent, but they change them here and there and come up with big technologies that will be expensive for our countries. So let us try to make sure that we link innovators in the globe and our communities where challenges are. We've got limited space-based applications. Our academia, our businesses, our spheres of government are not linking space technologies and the problems in the society, where they can end up having applications and printed activities that can help to solve the problems in our society, because innovations are designed to solve problems and improve the livelihoods. Why our science is not doing that? Lack of youth space tech inspirational activities, limited education about the importance of space and its benefits, like space exploration, trainings and workshops. Innovations are shelved and archived without solving problems. Limited local beneficiation, inclusivity and diversification is still a problem that we notice as a Space Tech Foundation. Recommendations, therefore, are that we establish cooperation agreement and global partnerships for space in sustainable development to ensure that we have the equitable allocation of available resources. Strong PPP. We turn information into knowledge and package it to user-friendly applications and services that will create programs and projects in our societies. We identify information and observing gaps. I will not read this one by one, but we must make sure that we participate meaningfully, we build local facilities, we increase human capital in the space sector, we ensure local beneficiation and access in the space industry. Because many of the things I've shared in these presentations are like the literature. I then had to put the references so that the info, all what has been said in this presentation can be recognized through their authors that have shared the slide about the authors of the previous slides that I've communicated earlier on. Decision making relies and will continue to rely on ability of expert communities to utilize complex data from Earth observation and combine these with social and economic analysis. Sound evidence-based decision making will encourage sustainable behavior by humankind in relation to Earth sources, leading to economic benefits for all the society. That is picked from Group on Earth Observation Strategy Plan 2016 to 2025. I thank you. I can then take questions.
Thank you so much for that informative session. Thank you so much, Mr. Mazibuko. We'll take questions. If there are any questions, we'll hand over to the floor. All right, I don't see any questions at the moment, but in your presentation, you mentioned how where we were as South Africa in terms of infrastructure.
Yes.
Are we in a position or to compete, or maybe even to actually just contribute in terms of adding value in this field of space technology? What are the practical things that South Africa can do to actually make a mark in this industry?
Thank you so much for that good question. I think we are competitive enough as South Africa. This is led by our South African National Space Agency. Our president, end of last year, contributed 4.5 billion towards improving space infrastructure hub so that at least we make good contributions to this. And I'm very happy with not only the organization that is budgeted to lead that, but there are a number of people who are contributing positively to this, like your Cape Peninsula University of Technology, that is dominating the sector by making other space products. This year we've seen University of KwaZulu-Natal building up a rocket, the students in partnership with a number of other organizations as well, taking the rocket up that took 18 kilometers up there. So we are very happy with activities like that because they are increasing our participation. Then when we keep that together, we'll come up with big things in future. Who knows, maybe next time we'll end up launching to the space, competing against US, China, and Saudi Arabia and other big countries in this sector. That will ensure that our youth and every sector are participating meaningfully and make profitable business out of this industry.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of work to do, but it is promising. Yes. So if there aren't any other questions, I'd like to close the session and thank you again for taking time out to give us to share with us this interesting information. And yeah, all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.